Hi, my name is Amber. I currently work at St. Joseph's Hospital in their Comprehensive Psychiatric Emergency Room, also known as CPEP. I am looking forward to obtaining my psychiatric nurse practitioner degree and becoming a provider to the people in my community and continuing to be a mental health advocate. Today I'm going to be discussing the website National Alliance on Mental Illness, also referred to as NAMI, and more specifically, the mental illness schizophrenia. I have chosen schizophrenia specifically because it is still a very feared diagnosis, is still not completely understood, and individuals and families dealing with this diagnosis need a lot of education and support. I have chosen NAMI as the website to tour today because their main goal and focus is to provide accurate information and to be advocates for persons with mental illness. I feel like this website not only provides reliable information, it is also a support system for people and their families looking to deal with the mental illness. A little bit about the website itself. It doesn't pertain to just one mental illness. It does discuss all of them. Currently, I have it open to the home webpage. It's supportive to the individual, families, especially teen and youth. It is a national organization, so it is in every state. They try to have support groups and fundraising nationwide. Here's a drop-down tab that allows you to pick your state and it can gear you towards support groups, fundraisers, anything in particular that's local to your area. You'd have to click though and then to move forward. A little bit about the website and knowing that it is a reliable resource, which is important when instructing people to go to a website. We want to make sure that the information that we're providing them is 100% accurate, doesn't give them any wrong ideas. On the Sears report, it did get a 3.6 score, so we know that it is a reliable source. Here at the bottom, there's contact information for the website and the organization itself. Lets you know that this is an updated website. So again, it just is a very reliable resource. Another reason why I chose this website is I feel it is very easy to comprehend. There is not a lot of large medical terminology that really confuses the patient or confuses the family member, and it is very easy to understand. I'm going to discuss the tabs across the top here. There is specific to about mental illness, where you can pick a specific mental illness, which I will be discussing schizophrenia and we'll come back to. Gives you an overview, some treatment, supports, and other information. Then there's the Your Journey tab, which is definitely geared towards the individual. So this is very helpful as a nurse practitioner to maybe have open, show them that they're able to log in and look at all the supportive tabs here. You can have more information about your diagnoses, how to find a professional if you need to, what to do when the patient is in a crisis, which is highly needed. We want to make sure that no one harms themselves in any way with any mental illness. So again, this tab is very much geared for the individual and support for them. The next tab is more for families, I feel. It's still for the individual, but it does give information about the mental health illness, places for support groups, the NAMI helpline, which is also along the lower part of the webpage, and it's the national 1-800 number and accessible 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is the tab to get involved, which is another way for individuals to find support groups, find fundraisers to either support the organization or just their family member that's dealing with the mental illness. There's advocacy, which is another great spot for the nurse practitioner themselves. The state fact sheet has, you can go to your specific state, and it has printouts that you can provide to the individual or hang in your office. And it just allows you to provide support to families and let them know that they're not alone, they're not the only people dealing with mental illnesses, and give them just a little bit more support. And then there is, again, about NAMI itself. Along the top here, you can join, which is free. You just have to add an email, or you can become a member. There's some other information along the top here. You don't need to join to access everything on here, but if you do join, it allows you to upload your own story, upload your own information, but again, that's more your own personal experience, so that stuff is kind of hidden from the national webpage itself unless you're a member. So again, another reason why it's a very reliable resource. If you're just coming to the webpage quickly, you're going to get accurate information. But if you do want to log in and go to individual blogs, then you'll get a little bit more personal stories. The blog is free, which has peer-reviewed resources on here. All right, so I'm going to go to schizophrenia itself, and we're going to discuss how this website is so helpful for learning about mental illnesses. Okay, so here we are on this page of schizophrenia. It has tabs across the top here, which is easy to go through. The first one gives you a quick overview. This video, which I can't click on right now, you won't hear it, but it is a nice video on YouTube that depicts how the individual diagnosed with schizophrenia feels. So it allows families to kind of get a little synapse of how the individual is really feeling. Then it gives a quick description of schizophrenia, some symptoms, causes, and diagnoses. Treatments, specifically about medications and the psychotherapy, and then relating conditions, which is highly important, especially with mental illnesses. A lot of the times there are dual diagnoses, and substance use disorders cause any mental illness, but especially schizophrenia, to be even harder to treat. Again, then you can go to treatment, and it gives you a little bit more overview about the medications. Again, the terminology used on here, I think, is easy and reliable, resourceful for the individual to understand. You can click on these, which gives you a breakdown of the medication so families can better understand what the medications are, how it is treating the diagnoses of schizophrenia, and some side effects or concerns that they might have with it. The links are useful. Again, the psychotherapy and other areas of the treatment. And then support. This helps the individual to understand how they can help themselves with a mental illness, avoiding alcohol and drugs, which we know are not going to be helpful. Helping a family member to understand how to respond and how to live with a person with a mental illness, especially schizophrenia. It can be very daunting on the individual and scary because we're not 100% able to understand how that person with the mental illness feels. And then there's discuss. This again is the important area where joining as a free member or a paid member is helpful, because you can click on these links and read. But again, this is more individualized. This is about the person and their experience. So it's not always, it's not 100% accurate. It's a subjective view. Uh, all right. So again, this is the website that I have chosen. I think NAMI itself is just a wonderful organization that really supports people with mental illnesses. It's a good resource for nurse practitioners to have in their pocket to steer people with mental illnesses into. The website is accessible. The access to other social medias is very useful. The information on here is accurate, and there are other areas too, other than the one that I put, to print and hand out to people looking for more information. Thank you for touring this website with me, and I hope it is useful for you in the future.